I'm going to give it to you right from the top. I don't want to ruin this movie for anybody, but lovingly, as a Batman fan, I enjoyed this movie. It is not a game-changing film. It is not like the best Batman I've ever seen. In fact, I don't even know if I would put it in my top 3 Batmans. I think it's a good film. I enjoyed it. The thing that everybody is saying, and the thing that I will reiterate, we get to see Detective Batman for the first time on the big screen. Now, for those of you who are going, what the fuck does Will mean? We've always seen Batman. Detective Batman is kind of much more akin to certain graphic novels, certain comic book series within Batman, where he's like a noir detective and he, tracks down a villain. Day. Batman was such a non-character to me in this movie. He was such a non-character to me. You weren't watching them? Relax, DC fans. Relax, bro. It's okay. I'm a DC fan also. It's cool. I said I enjoyed the movie. I liked the movie. It was a good movie. It's not The Dark Knight. Hang on to your asses. It ain't The Dark Knight. It's okay. It's a good movie. No, you know what? I'm not gonna save your fucking feelings. They didn't do Batman well. They didn't. I'm sorry. He's supposed to be the great detective and he can't look something up on Google Translate. Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I'm sorry. He's a terrible detective in the movie. He's a fucking terrible detective in the movie. He spends 3 hours trying to figure out the Spanish word for fucking stool pigeon. I'm sorry. He's a shit detective in the movie. Fucking dog shit detective. That's what he should be. He's not the great detective. He's fucking dog shit. And like, it's such a tell don't show moment. Because in the beginning, they try and show you what a great detective he is. Because someone has their thumb cut off and he's like, he does like the CSI made up bullshit thing where he's like, oh yeah, you can tell by the spiral pattern, it was cut off while he was still alive. Okay, sick, dope detective. You and every fucking forensic, scientist in their first year of college. I disagree. I like the adaptation of Batman in this movie. Listen, I liked the adaptation of Batman in this movie too. I thought it was cool to see a detective Batman. But like, if I am giving very reasonable criticism and someone wants to come at me and be like, you just didn't pay attention then, I'm going to make them feel stupid. Because I've done film for a living my entire fucking life. And I was being very kind with this movie, and I had kitten gloves on. Oh, yeah, wow. So when the diehards want to come at my neck and pretend that this movie is a 10 out of 10, and that I just somehow missed how good it was sitting in a private movie theater, then I'm going to basically smash them over the head. I think you're getting up there in age. When we have to take away your comic book movie critic pass, I think your skills would be more adept for films such as Moonlight or La La Land. Interesting take. You know that new character, Batman? You guys remember that hip new intellectual property, Batman? From May 1939? I don't know. I didn't get a lot of character from anyone in the story. I think maybe Gordon and Catwoman, Selena Kyle, I got the most character from. Everyone else was, I thought the best acting performance in the entire thing was Penguin. Colin Farrell as Penguin was fucking mind-blowing. At the end of the film, I talked to people in the movie theater and I was like, dude, Colin Farrell was amazing. And they were like, Colin Farrell wasn't in that movie. And I was like, yeah, he was. Yeah, he fucking, what? He's the Penguin. And people were like, what? This Penguin is based on Fredo. And I don't want to give that doesn't give anything away plot structurally. Some of you have seen, Godfather, and you're like, oh shit. But it's not the structure, it's the character. Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool. And beyond that, I think Colin Farrell is doing his best impression of Robert De Niro. Cool. And I think they even tried to make this Penguin look like De Niro. Like, here is the Penguin. Look at how it kind of even looks like De Niro. I was shocked when I was watching it. I was like, it looks like De Niro. Like, look at that. I think they based his face off of De Niro, which is shocking to me. So I think the Penguin is this character in this film. It's a very different Penguin than you've seen. It's a very different Penguin than Burton's Penguin. I went back and watched Burton's Batman Returns or Batman Forever, Batman 2, whatever. And that Penguin DeVito's Penguin is so different. He's like an animal, right? Like through the whole movie, Returns, through the whole movie, he's like, he's like grunting and shit and like eating raw fish. It's so strange. But I loved Colin Farrell's Penguin. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the highlights of the movie. Okay, but for real, how's Catwoman? Dude, Zoe kills that role. Oh my God. Hottest Batwoman ever on screen. Incredible Batwoman. Catwoman. Incredible character. Very cool. I like how they did her motivation. I like how they built her. I just liked her character as opposed to the Batman's character. A lot of her motivation made a lot more sense. Now, I'm going to be honest, the romance between Catwoman and Batman felt a little just kind of thrown in there. Like they're just two hot people that want to fuck, I suppose. Halle Berry, oh, you're right. Widely considered the worst movie of all time. That adaptation of Catwoman is better than this one. You're right. You nailed it. I think whoever wrote this screenplay just slapped 7 on a table and like cut it up and like literally made this movie out of 7. I think that this movie is literally a reimagining of 7 within a superhero story, the same way that I think that Joker was basically a reinterpretation of like The King of Comedy and other films from that director. We won't get into that whole saga, but like making one of those New York crime thriller type stories into a superhero story, right? A Scorsese film being packaged into a superhero movie. And I think the Batman takes 7 and like even takes beats from that script. I don't want to give anything away, but it was impossible for me to ignore how similar the stories were. And granted, there is a lot more going on in the Batman than there is 7, right? The runtime is longer. There are more characters, but somewhere in the architecture or the skeleton of this movie, there is 7. So the climax of the film, I felt weird because if Joker gave me school shooter vibes, this took like the Chud shooter vibes and almost made them like uncomfortably real. That's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But I can't be the only one who in the theater was like, "Ooh, this is a little close to the bone." This film suffers from the 3-hour film syndrome, kind of like Lord of the Rings or a lot of, movies that just go too long, where the ending feels painfully anticlimactic. It feels like the air is let out of this movie 40 minutes before it ends. I was kind of like, we're gonna do a whole part here now. Okay. As someone who's done a lot of editing in my life, I am shocked that this movie made it to screen with the runtime it did. Because there were a number of times in this film that I was like, okay, cut. Oh, okay, cut this. Okay, cut that. Why are we, huh? What are we hanging out here for? I was shocked.
Oh, yeah, wow.
I was shocked.
5 months strong.
In fact, there's one scene, and it doesn't give anything away, but there's one scene that's in the trailer where Batman is walking to a car that's been flipped. This is in the trailer. I'm not spoiling anything.
Wow, that's very cool.
And Batman does this really cool walk up, and it's got the... And you're like, yes! Yes! And he gets to the car, and the music swells like this. And then they keep this scene in where Batman, like, turns his head and, like, looks in the window, and it looks so dumb. It looks so silly. Like him kneeling down and looking in the window, and it's upside down, and it takes all the, like, intensity out of this scene, and it almost kind of gave people in my movie theater a laugh. People all went, ha ha. And I was like, no, this is supposed to be the most badass shot in the movie, and people are laughing. Cut that out, man. Why did you do this? I think the car chase scene is probably the best action in the entire movie. Because I didn't think the action choreo was incredible. I thought the action choreo was okay. I thought the chase scene was fucking wicked. It wasn't an action movie. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't affect if the action choreography is bad or good. There was action choreography in the film, and it wasn't like noir action.
Cool.
Did you
It wasn't
see Leonard
like
get roasted?
it wasn't like Dial M for Murder, where like a detective goes in and like fires one shot, and someone's like, "Ah!" Right? There was action in that movie. You can't be like it wasn't an action movie. Come on. Jesus Christ. It had at least like what? 20 minutes of on-screen action? 20, 30 minutes of just on-screen action? It's like, okay, it's not an action movie, but a fourth of the runtime of this fucker is action scenes, so. The action was better than most Batman movie. Are you talking it's about that it's better than the original 4? Because it certainly wasn't better than the Nolan Batmans. Certainly, you're not insinuating that. It was better than Nolan for sure. Hey, man. I don't know what it is about this movie that makes you want to put it on a pedestal, but I'm glad you enjoyed it that much. Nolan action scenes, Pepe Lol. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Who the fucker did? Come on. This is one of the greatest action sequences in history. When this fucking semi flips, are you shitting me? And they did it with practical? Are you fucking shitting me? Come on, bro. It was mid. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Keep jerking off to this new Batman. I don't know what to tell you. Dude, I still remember being in a movie theater, and the way that shit hit when it went boop. That shit still hits. I'm gonna give it like a 7.9 to an 8.2. Somewhere in that rating. Guys, I gave this movie an 8. People that are nitpicking about this movie deserving more than an 8, you're crazy. This is a loving 8. I'm a gigantic Batman film. I think part of my fandom is why this movie got an 8. What you said, 7.9? I said a 7.9 to an 8 too.
I'm a stud.
You weren't listening.
I'm ballsy.